Thank you, friend. Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. Well, the transition's complete and idiocy is won. Not only is Israel and Judaism one and the same, but Hamas and the Palestinians are also one and the same. Of course, in neither case is it true. Jews may be Israelis. Members of Hamas may be Palestinian. Republicans or Democrats may be American. But in no instance are they interchangeable. Beware of the mob. They have taken control, and once they have it, they do not give it back. Here we are 2 months into a genocide, and the imbeciles and lunatics are fueling the greatest level of anti-Semitism in almost 100 years. Let's give thanks that there are still some people with minds who speak truth and call out terror for what it is. These terrorists that get such vehement defense would surely cut the throats of their defenders at the drop of a hat. When someone says they want you dead, believe them. Protesters even use the occasion of the great Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade to make it political. The one holiday that truly transcends differences. And I was talking to someone about Thanksgiving the other day. It's the time to be with family and friends, to honor the bounties of life, to share and celebrate gratitude for the gifts of God. And while talking about family, I mentioned the ancient belief that we picked our parents. And she was adamantly opposed to the thought, because she and so many others seemed to have picked really lousy ones. I told her it was for the lessons we needed. And even if they stunk, forgive your parents. And thank God for giving you such good teachers for your development. Forgiveness is so important and yet so misunderstood and so hard to come by. And we're going to see it emphasized again this week in the readings. So how was your Thanksgiving? Did you think of some of the things you can give thanks for? Gratitude is not occasional. It is a part of life, part of your life. There's so many things we need to express our gratitude for, whether complex or simple. Even the ability to go out and enjoy nature on an afternoon with a nice picnic basket. It doesn't have to be world peace or gazillions of dollars. Yeah, they're nice, but often it is the simple things. Those are the ones that bring us great joy. And one of the things that brings everyone joy is the ability to celebrate holidays and occasions. We're less than a week to the celebration of the holiday of miracles. Wonder of wonders, miracle of miracles. God took a Daniel once again, stood by his side, and miracle of miracles walked him through the lion's den. And miracles are a part of the history of the Jewish people. Always persecuted, feared, hated, reviled, exiled, attacked, killed. But it's always a miracle waiting to save us. Plagues, Moses, the great epiphany and journey to a promised land. Survival after its only 2 temples were destroyed, the people exiled several times. The rededication that took place, Hanok, the holiday coming up. Rededication of the temple, the fortress of Masada, people driven from every land they called home, forbidden from engaging in all but the lowest of trades. And yet we succeed. We exceed. The Jewish population is less than 0.2% of the world's population, but they account for 23% of all Nobel laureates, and their nominations and wins at Oscars is a far higher percentage. From Haman to Hitler to Hamas, the desire to exterminate the Jewish people is enormous. How are we still here? That too is a miracle in itself. We are the people of miracles. So get ready to celebrate the great miracle of Hanukkah. But we should take a moment, light the candles that emphasize growing light in our lives, light that allows us to see and not be afraid, to honor the miracles that occur throughout our lives, but which we rarely stop to acknowledge or celebrate. It marks a week in which we gather and celebrate spirit, the spirit and power of creation. That one thing Genesis tells us was not in existence, light. Always more powerful than dark. Have you noticed that in a dark room, one little light can drive away the fear of darkness, but in a room full of light, darkening it a little doesn't have an effect. The holiday is the story of the recapturing and rededication of the temple from the Greeks, and how there was only enough oil to light the great menorah for one night, yet it burned for 8. That's why the menorah, or Hanukkah, lit for the holidays, different from the temple menorah, having 8, not 7 spaces, plus 1, giving 9th. That 9th serves as the shamas, the helper light, which lights the others. Now, the story is well told in the Talmud, in Shabbat 21b, if anybody wants to go read it. And there really are 2 miracles to this story. The first, the 1 day of oil burning for 8 days. The second, the amazing military victory of a small force over a great force. One represents the physical battle. We all have ongoing physical challenges and battles. The other, the spiritual battle. Boy, do we have those. This is the battle of the force of light over the forces of dark, and that is a battle many people fight their entire lives. Let's face it, dark is usually easier. And it is the reminder of the miracles we all have occurring in our lives all the time. We have, each of us, had those, these aren't the droids you're looking for moments. The miracles that occur. Sometimes we're told we only live once. It's wrong. We only die once, but we live every day. Friends, make every day count, and count the miracles that you are taking for granted. But first, let's celebrate our coming together. As a group to honor and pray and observe as a community, the collective consciousness of seekers who show faith, any and all faith, love, any and all love, a chavura, a fellowship, as we express our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. Even though we're together, we're always individual in our approach, each connecting in his or her or their own way. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, or spiritually, any way at all, to gather and share from Psalm 133. The Hidei Matov, come together. Hidei Matov. Shevet Davim Gam. Hidei Matov. Shevet Davim Gam. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. We support each other in this community. So let's all spread love, goodwill, fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is you setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in, because we all believe in something. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention. That you put out to the universe, it's your goodwill. Goodwill and intentions are the roots of what you control, of what you correct. Your intention sets in motion everything that occurs in our lives. Let's take some time now. Let's use that intention. Let's send some of that goodwill, some light, some healing out to whoever you know that needs it. Healing and renewal for everybody. It just floats through space, finding those in need, so think of it. And send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. Think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them. Call their names. It's not just for people. It's for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world, the tikkun olam. It's part of our spiritual genetic makeup, and a part of the healing of the world is when we send the thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everybody. They don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. So let's all send energy out for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers for those in need of assistance, such as now when there are still so many missing and so many still held captive. We pray for those who need prayer. We don't have to know them. We want health, recovery, good life for everybody around us. For Dave and Alana. For the builder and Shelley. For Pam. Kay. For Dory and Gloria. For Judy. Megan. Henry. Doria. For the fairy godmother. For the cardinal. For Johnny. For Maria. For Fern. John. For Ronnie. Connie. For Luke. Dave. Nina and Danny. For Ryan and Dolly. For all those suffering and in need. Let's not forget to include the familiars of our lives, all of our sacred animal friends everywhere. We all have them. For everyone you know in need. For the whole world. For the bee. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all sent out. It just circles the world finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit. Spirit, my friends, never dies. Me, Shabbat, Avotenu, Makor HaBracha, Vimotenu. May the source of strength bless the ones before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. And let us say, Amen. Mishperach, let us all have our spirits renewed, because this is the great prayer for healing, in which we call upon God to heal as He has healed before. Mishperach, may He who bless, because all healing is a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. And this week we read about a great reunion. As we read, Vayeshlach, and he sent. Genesis 32:4, and Jacob sent messengers ahead of him to Esau his brother, to the land of Seir, the territory of Edom, and commanded them, saying, you shall say this, to my lord, to Esau your servant Jacob said this, I've stayed with Laban and delayed until now. The great reunion is in the wind. Jacob's heading home. Esau knows he's coming. Jacob sends men to tell Esau he's bringing gifts. Genesis 32:7. The messengers came back to Jacob saying, we came to your brother, to Esau, and also he's coming to you. 400 men with him. Jacob was very afraid, and he had anguish, and he divided the people who were with him, and the sheep and the oxen and the camels, into two camps. Why is he so afraid? What would you do? Now, Jacob the schemer lets fear dictate his move. He divides his camp so as not to lose all. And he said, if Esau will come to one camp and strike it, then the camp that is left will survive. Well, you know what? It makes sense, doesn't it? Why risk everything on one throw of the dice? What would you do? But of course, everything he does is predicated on his projection that Esau is out to get revenge for what Jacob did. He actually doesn't know that yet. How many times do we let our projections dictate instead of our asking questions, investigating, seeking knowledge and answers, and finding out the truth? There are significant parts to this reading, this great reunion being perhaps the most significant. But we also have the wrestling match with the angel who names Jacob Israel. Israel means one who wrestles with God. And of course, we have the reported rape of Dinah, the one daughter of Jacob. You know, we only think of the 12 sons, the 12 tribes, but there was a daughter too. And the rape. When you read it, it seems more like a love story than anything. You read it, you decide. But it too sees fear rear its ugly head, as that is what Jacob focuses on. His whole world is built on fear. Then there's the birth of his final son, Benjamin, who will gain prominence in the Joseph stories, and the death of his beloved wife, Rachel. Then there's the final passing of the mantle as Isaac dies and another generation's gone. But the entire episode is centered around the great opportunity for reconciliation. The prodigal son returns home. Blood, love, connection. Things that bind you to your family were not. We're told that Jacob's afraid, and he's carried that fear for 20 years so far. So he's prepared to sacrifice half of his loot so the other half survives. He appeals to God. For with my staff I crossed the Jordan, now I become two camps. Oh, save me from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear him. For he thought, let me placate him with the tribute that goes before me, and after I shall look on his face, perhaps he will show me a kindly face. This is pure projection, when we project us on them. These are the demonstrations of life. These are the things that lead to the great choices we make. Life is a series of choices, and each choice is a cause with its own effect. Did you ever stop to think about the choices that you made? Do you ask, what if instead I chose? Does that question ever fade? We captain our lives with the choices we make at the crossroads, time again. The decisions of fate, because that's what they are, leave the scars on our souls that remain. Fate keeps testing, why can't it be easy instead? Why can't we see what it needs to be for us to know what's ahead? Why does it have to be so difficult for us? We make the choices of life, which sends us in different directions. And yes, we can spend our lives thinking about those choices and saying, what if? But these choices we are witnessing are the behaviors and beliefs of Jacob, not Esau. How many decisions do we make based on us, not them? The great writers and sages of history have continued the projection that Jacob was a saint, Esau a sinner. Now, nothing actually written supports any of that. You read it, you let me know what you think. Now, perhaps your greatest miracle this season is the realization of how much of this type of projection you do. You on them, without finding out. Now, he breaks his 2 camps into 4 camps for a reason. And then he's left alone where his dream occurred 20 years ago, the great dream of the stairway to heaven. Genesis 32:24. Jacob was left alone. A man wrestled with him until the break of dawn, and he saw that he had not won out against him. He touched his hip socket, and Jacob's hip socket was wrenched as he wrestled with him, and he said, "Let me go, for dawn is breaking." And he said, "I will not let you go unless you bless me." And he said to him, "What's your name?" And he said, "Jacob." And he said, "Not Jacob. Your name shall not be that hence, but Israel, for you have striven with God and men and won out." Jacob asked the Spirit's name, but he will not say. Did he wrestle with anyone? Or did he simply fight with his own dark night of the soul? Perhaps it's both. You could stop here. You could spend days, weeks, years discussing the wrestling match we go through in so much of our lives. How often have we wrestled with our own dark night of the soul? With our own belief in God? But this is just the beginning of our understanding of this man, this last of the 3 patriarchs. Genesis 33:1. And Jacob raised his eyes and saw, and look, Esau was coming. With him were 400 men. And he divided the children between Leah and Rachel and between the 2 slave girls. And he placed the slave girls and their children first, and Leah and her children after them, and Rachel and Joseph last. I said he had reason. He placed them in order of his willingness to sacrifice and lose his wives and children. So he puts the maid wives and their children first, then Leah and her children, finally Rachel and Joseph at the very rear. Genesis 33:4. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell upon his neck and kissed him, and they wept. Jacob spent his life in fear of his brother, who had let go any anger he had and forgave and loved. But the poison in Jacob, the fear, was part of his makeup, and he passed that on to his descendants. And Esau said, "Let us journey onward and go. Let me go alongside you." And he said, "My Lord knows that the children are tender. Nursing sheep and cattle are my burden. And if they are, whipped along onward on a single day, all the flocks will die. Pray let my Lord pass on before his servant. And let me drive along at my own easy pace, at the heels of the livestock before me, at the heels of the children, till I come to my Lord and Savior." And Esau said, "Pray, let me set aside for you some of the people who are with me." And he said, "Why should I find such favor in the eyes of my Lord?" And Esau returned that day to his way to Seir, while Jacob journeyed on to Sukkot. And he built himself a house, and for his cattle he made sheds. Therefore is the name of the place called Sukkot. Jacob used any excuse he could to have Esau return home, where he promises he will join him. But as soon as Esau leaves to go home, Jacob turns and runs in the opposite direction. The motivation of fear and the terrible things it does to us. There are defining moments in our lives. Jacob's defining moments stem from defining questions. He asks his mother, what if we were caught in the deception of his father? She allays his fears. He's asked by his father that soul-revealing question, who are you? And he will be asked by the angel, what's your name? Then the angel names him, not Jacob, twister, grabber, grifter, but Israel, one who struggles with God. Friends, who does not struggle with God? And unlike other biblical name changes, he is continued to be called by both names because he is both. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life, the lives of those you love. Share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, and be blessed. Share and honor the light, and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone, and end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together, we celebrate with each other, we love each other. We share this right together, men and women equally. Let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, and goodwill and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive and learn to love. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Examine your intentions and use them to imprint your will on the universe, because we set in motion everything that happens in our lives. It is our intention, our Kavana, our cause, our effect. It's all linked. You always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad, so acknowledge what you've done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged. Ask forgiveness. Do so with sincerity, accountability, vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? Because if you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So keep on dreaming, my friends. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear. Follow love, because that's always in front of you. And remember to have faith. Just as I have faith in the principle of love and of all of you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year, and may you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go. Work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in your consciousness, in your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present, all of life's circumstances. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. And continue to explore faith and belief in what they mean to you. And do not accept shame as a natural state, because whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together and we help each other, because we're each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them. Tell them what they mean. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive, and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Listen to the voice of God as she, he, it, they talks to you and tells you the secrets of your soul. Get ready for the holiday of miracles. It's coming up within less than a week. Keep thinking of the miracles in your life. And you may find that one of the other greatest miracles is the peace and relief you feel when you follow the example of Esau and learn to exercise the great gift of God, the forgiveness mechanism that we can engage and that truly changes our lives. But I'm learning to live without you now. But I miss you sometimes. The more I know, the less I understand all the things I thought I knew. I'm learning again. I've been trying to get down to the heart of the matter, but my will gets weak and my thoughts seem to scatter. I think it's about forgiveness, forgiveness, even if you don't love me anymore. Forgiveness, my friends. Thank you for joining me. Celebrate freedom and love. Forgive. Let the world know that you walk in faith and in trust. Shabbat Shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.